What's up, racers? Welcome back to the channel and another race in our global SS challenge. If this is the first time you're catching one of these videos, I am trying to get the SS rank in all 5 regions on Gran Turismo Sport, so EMEA, North America, South America, Asia and Oceania. And not only that, I've chosen the worst 5 manufacturers, or the worst 5 manufacturers from the last season to go in. So to be able to get that SS rank, I have to finish in the top 5 or the top 10. In Oceania, I think it's top 5 in the region, but everywhere else, I think it's top 10, which we are on course to do right now. I think we're top 5 in all of the manufacturers that we are racing in. But in this one, we are asking the question, is there some kind of glitch when fueling in the pit lane? We'll talk about it more as we go over the video, but coming across the line, we are going to improve, but we're still going to be nearly 3/10 off of the leader. Such a short lap here. You kind of wonder why they didn't put the Group 4 cars around here, seeming that there's only 3 rounds of Group 4 in the whole of this exhibition season. But that's going to be good enough for second place. I know I can go faster. I can hit around a 44.1 in practice. So we'll settle for second, that's fine, and we'll just try and fuel save a little bit in the slipstream of the car in front. So let's get on to the issue with this race as we just follow this car around in the slipstream and both go a little bit deep there because of the cold tyres at the start of the race, which we do know is a thing now. So anyway, back to the fuel issue. We were talking about it in Discord. If you want to join that Discord, the link is in the description. It's free. We talk about stuff in there. But anyway, shrill over, and the fueling issue seems to be that when you put in a certain amount of fuel in the pits, you come out of the pits without that fuel in. So for example, you put in 12 laps of fuel and then you come out of the pits and you have 11 laps of fuel. I'm not really sure why this happens. Here's my theory. I think it's because when you go into the pits, sometimes you refuel and you haven't crossed that finish line yet. So the game thinks, oh, you've got 12 laps left, but then as you come out of the pits, you cross the finish line and you magically lose a lap of fuel. I think that's how it is, but maybe you have a different idea in the comment section below. Did you have this problem in the race, or have you noticed it in any of the other races? Let me know in the comment section below. But anyway, back to the strategy that I'm using for this race. I was going to go for do 13 laps, come in, do 4 laps, I think it is, on the hard tyre, and then finish on another 13 lap stint. So you have to use both compounds of tyres. You have to go both medium and hard. Obviously the mediums are faster, so you want to spend as little time on the hard tyres as possible, which is why I did the 13-4-13 split. Or at least that's what I wanted to do, but because the rear tyres kind of go on this Citroen quite quickly, I had to sort of shorten it up. So 12 laps on the first, then it becomes 6 laps in the centre, and then finish on another 12 lap, making it easier on the tyres. So we do manage to gap the second place car, so we do increase it from like 3 to 5 on the hard tyres, but we do come into the pits. Now, pay attention. This is what's going to happen. So obviously we have to refuel to go to the end of the race. We're putting on the medium tyres as well. And look, 12 laps of fuel remaining, and there is 12 laps remaining in the race. Just remember that, okay? 12 and 12. And I would like to point out as well that we haven't ticked over into lap 19 yet. So what we were saying before about not ticking over, we don't tick over onto that 19th lap until we come out of the pits. It should have been so simple, but when is it ever simple in one of my videos? So we come out of the pits here, obviously in second place, but we do get overtaken by the Jaguar in second, and this is going to cause a massive issue, as we are going to get stuck behind him, and that is going to sort of just hold us up in our quest to try and get close to that #1 player. But the thing is, I was able to fuel save a little bit more behind this car using that slipstream. So in theory, I should have excess fuel because I was able to fuel save even more behind him. But that's not going to happen. Just keep that in the back of our mind. So we had 12 laps of fuel. There were 12 laps remaining. I was able to fuel save a little bit more behind the Jaguar. Just keep that in your minds. But look, you see how much we close up the gap on this left-hand corner, and once again kind of being slowed behind him, but not being able to get out of this final corner and making any progress on the start-finish straight. Once again, just being held up on this left-hand corner. That, well, not held up, just we can't get past him. It's such a short track. There's not many overtaking opportunities because it's so quick and hectic. He does dive into the pits there, but we have been behind him for 3 laps, and when our tyres have been the freshest they have been, we have lost a lot of time and opportunities. But here it is. There is 8 laps remaining. No, 9 laps remaining. We have lost 2 laps of fuel somehow, and we've been fuel saving. What? How has it happened? How has it happened? We've lost 2 laps somehow. How has that happened? I don't know. And now we have to sort of recover ourselves. We do manage to take off quite a bit of time off of him. I'm just driving regularly. I'm kind of, at this moment, I'm like, hold on, the laps don't match up. And unfortunately, I realised too late, and we got down into the 2 seconds there, 2.8 seconds it went down to there, but I have to do the final 2 laps of the race in 6 on the lean setting in the fuel mapping. So obviously really damaged us. I think we could have got that victory as well. But there we go. The mystery of the fuel has been shown. What do you think about that one? Let me know in the comments section below. But you know what? 2nd place and a good load of points, actually. That's the most points we've scored for Citroen. 1,353 points. And that gives us a total of 4,426 points. And that puts us 4th in Citroen in the manufacturers in the Asia region. But now we move on to the McLaren in the EMEA region, the big booty McLaren. What can we do here? I just fell off the pace with this car. I was a couple of tenths down on my lap time in comparison to the other manufacturers that I was racing, and I just didn't feel like it was fast around here. I don't know if anyone else out there is driving McLaren and you experienced the same thing. I just didn't feel fast. So this is our fastest lap time, and we're currently sitting in 10th place. But the best thing about this race is that we're using the knowledge of this fuel issue. We talked about it in Discord, like I said, or so, I can't remember who made the point that there is an issue, and I was like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, that would explain a lot in the Citroen race. So we are going to be able to manage that better in this race when we do eventually put in fuel. So we will cross that bridge when we come to it, but managing to go into, well, 10th position once again. We did improve on our time, but it's only good enough for 10th. And you know what? Actually, top 10 is exactly where I want to be. I'm not confident in the car. I don't think it's got very good race pace. Anything from 10th and above, I will be very happy. And looking at the gap, just because this track is so small and the way that we start around those first couple of corners, look at the gap between me and the car behind as the Mercedes goes very deep there on the cold tyres, and someone else has had an issue as well, picking up a penalty for hitting into the wall. We all love how those penalties are given out. Oh, I see you've crashed into the wall there. Let me slap you with a penalty as well, even though you lost a load of time. Anyway, back on with the race. 2 Mercedes going 2 by 2 through here is going to make them very slow. And we're going to go up the inside of the Brit and settle in behind the German in front of us there. He has got a 1.5 second penalty, so he will be serving that as we come around onto lap 2. So I'm not really too fussed about getting past him. Maybe we'll just save a little bit of fuel sitting behind him. You see the penalty timer timing down nicely there, staying behind him, trying to make sure that there's no contact. Obviously I've been trying to be a lot cleaner recently. He's going to serve his penalty on the racing line. Oh, well, he kind of moves off of it. Okay, I'll take that back. Well done. And the Russian in front of us obviously had a penalty as well, so going to be closing up on him fast. Are we going to look up the inside? Yes, we are. He is going to brake nice and early. Is he going to get the cut back on us? It does look like he has, as he is up the inside for this left-hander here, and we nearly lose a second place to the Mercedes, but we do manage to hold the inside on the right-hand corner, so we keep 8th place. We go up to 7th as Ty Rath goes into the pits, only spending 2 laps on the hard tyres there to get him out of the way so he gets onto the mediums as quick as possible. Yellow flag on lap 3. We see that there is a BSR Hunter, a Frenchman, in the grass, in the wall on the outside there. Obviously some kind of altercation. Scott goes up the inside again, but we keep that inside line going into the right-hander once again. The German as well dives into the pits in front of us. He's got his hard tyres out the way as well. And coming on to the end of lap 11, we go into the pits ourselves. So usually we would pit on lap 13, but I just felt that the car was just washing away and I was losing too much time. Onto the hards we go, and we come out of the pits in 7th position. Lap 13 then, a couple more people have dove into the pits to change their tyres. This is the strat that I would want to have done. I do it with the Volkswagen in the next video, and we just come out in front of the Austrian driver there for 4th position. Not that it really matters at this stage of the race, but you know, we could have been held up behind him if he was going a little bit slower than us. Lap 14, and we make our first big mistake, managing to catch the slide though as we touch the grass on the outside of that corner. That's pretty much the only big mistake that I made over the 4 races that I did this round. And that gives SDL Rossi the opportunity to get in front of me. Super slow on the apex there. That means he's going to get a nice run out of this corner and open up that gap between us. But here we go, the gap just increased a little bit and we dive into the pits at the end of lap 18. So there is 12 laps to go, and you're going to see how much fuel we're going to put in, obviously changing back onto the medium tyres. And here we go, once again, I put in a little bit extra, 13.5 laps of fuel. 13.5 laps of fuel, and there is only 12 laps remaining. Very simple. What's going to happen? So we come out of the pits in 12th position behind the Austrian and Ty Rath. And as we come around turn number 1, we are going to flip over to that fuel map setting. And yes, we have lost 2 laps of fuel on the first corner. This just proves our theory right, that because we weren't on that lap 19, the game has just magically taken away a lap of fuel from us. So there we go. Myth debunked. We have found out the reason for it. I hope it didn't affect you too much in your racing, but let me know if it did in the comment section below. But here we go, back on with the racing. 12th position, lap 19. We do have enough fuel, luckily, because we overfueled because we knew it was going to happen. But plenty of stuff still to happen in this race. Nearly have an incident here, or well, it's not really an incident, but we managed to take 9th position as Hunter and McSpongy there come out of the pits. Not really sure why I did an accent there, but it just felt right. But jumping towards lap 22 now and coming into the final few corners, we are right on the back of Hunter. He actually gives a little tap into the back of the Austrian there. And coming out of the final corner, we get a nice run into the slipstream of the Ford. And Hunter just comes across blindly, wiping me into a wall. And here we go, we're going to play a game. Whose penalty, me or him? Stop the video, go to the comment section, type out, am I going to get a penalty or is he going to get a penalty? Go. And we're back, and I get an SR down. No one gets a penalty. GT Sport penalty system, everybody. I'm clapping, not fapping. GT Sport penalty system. Well, there we go. Obviously, I'm not really surprised, and I wasn't really surprised in the game, but, you know, he should have got a penalty. He hit me into the wall. But anyway, coming through here on lap 24 now, we see it all got a little bit awkward. We're going to go up the inside of the Ford. Can we hold it this time? We are going to go a little bit deep, and he is going to go up the inside. That's not him. That's actually McSpongy up the inside, so he's capitalised on one mistake and had 2 positions for the price of 1. So we were in 8th position, we went up, and we're down to 8th position again. So jumping forward again, lap 26 this time. Fizzy is just going to fizz it up the inside there. Nice strong move from him. We're going to see that Scotty has done an oopsie and has spun around there. So we were up to 7th place, but once again back down to 8th position. As we come into this final left-hand corner, I actually tried to switch to the radar mid-corner, which is obviously pretty impossible to do when you're on a controller. So we went deep, managing to regain it though. We see the Russian has gone into the wall and spun around and ruined his race 4 laps from the end. So we are up to 7th position Now, can we go about keeping that as we come through turn number 1? On the exit, we see that there's been some kind of incident as old Mook Spongy has been spun into the wall, or something's happened, because we do see a 4-second penalty who's been given to SDL Rossi up ahead of us, so I'm not really sure what happened there, but we've got bigger problems as the gold and black Mercedes tries to go up the inside. There is a little bit of contact there that does push us wide. There was enough space for him to go up the inside, and there was a little bit of contact, but there's nothing I could have done there really to combat that or stop that from happening. Maybe gone a little bit defensive earlier, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest. But coming on to lap 28 then, can we go about tracking down the gold and black Mercedes in front of us, maybe getting a little bit of redemption by passing him. The player is serving his 4-second penalty. Genius, 1000 IQ, serving his penalty on the racing line. Good job, buddy. Clapping, not fapping. And we are up to 6th position and 1.5 laps to go. Can we go about getting any more places up front? Unfortunately not. We were just too slow, basically. It was just, like I said at the start of the race, I didn't feel like we had that good a race pace with the McLaren. I think I finished 15 seconds behind my fastest race time on this race, so with the Volkswagen or the Dodge, I finished in really, really good race time, and I was like 10-15 seconds away from that time in the McLaren. So if I was driving one of the other cars, I could have won the race, but you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda, all that kind of jazz. No use dwelling on that, as we do actually have SDL Rossi closing down on us. He's taken a couple of seconds off of us on this last few laps, and we just need to hold it together around these final couple of corners. You see him in the radar there as well. Nothing that he can really do in this last section. If I keep it on the racing line, there's not much he can do. But coming over the line, yet more drama as we see the Mercedes has run out of fuel, and he is just gonna get me on the line by 0.002 of a second. Also, we see that the German, the Zero guy in 8th position there, didn't use both compounds of tyres, so he got a 20-second penalty, and he was in front of us. So that does promote us up to 5th. But we could have had 4th. Absolutely crazy. And it does bring our total for the season up to 6.1 thousand driver points, driver ranking points, whatever they are, and puts us 2nd in the McLaren manufacturers. So thank you so much for watching, liking and subscribing. I hope the issue around the fuel glitch, fuel bug, whatever you want to call it, helped you out a little bit and made you aware of it. And that's going to be it. Thank you to my channel members for doing your thing, and we'll see you in the next one.